kind of nervous. Why am I nervous?
Is it wickedness? Is it weakness? You decide.
Going into this album, I knew it was going to be different from Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly, but I didn't exactly know what different meant.
She replied, "Oh yes, you have lost something. You've lost your life."
Oh my god.
Lamar stated his views on police brutality with that line in the song, quote,
Ooh.
and we hate the po-po.
I did look up this Fox News clip, and it has definitely aged terribly.
I don't like it.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got hustle, though ambition flow inside my DNA. This that puts the kiss to bed. This that I got realness. I just kill shit.
I spoiled myself on accident for the Steppers tour, but he should be playing this one live, and I can already picture it going insane.
Then win again like Wimbledon I serve. I know how you work, I know just who you are. See, use a bitch, your hormones probably switch inside your DNA. Problem is, all that sucker shit inside your DNA. Yeah, soldier's DNA. Born inside the beast, my expertise checked out in second grade. When I was 9, on sale motel.
Kendrick lost his innocence at a very young age. We heard him say, "When I was 9, Joey packed a 9 back in Mad City," and he's emphasizing that here.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside
This is
my
why
DNA.
I say that hip-hop has done more damage to young African Americans than racism in recent years.
I live about my DNA. This is my heritage, all I'm inheriting. Money and power, the maker emeritus. Tell me something.
Oh my God.
Motherfuckers can't tell me nothing. This how it is when you in the matrix, dodging bullets, reaping what you're sowing, stacking up the footage, living on the go and sleeping in the villa, sipping from a snake's curving all the fakes.
A lot of the tracks on this album cover the topic of wickedness versus weakness, as presented by the first line of the previous track. There's a lot of duality he's explored in his life, heavily presented in these lines.
It's on the way. Gonna be a fake, gonna be a fake. Peace to the world, let it rotate. Sex, money, murder, our DNA.
Holy shit. Okay, we've already gone through 2 songs, but I felt bombarded. Couldn't get a word out. Yeah, so far this is extremely different from both Good Kid, Mad City and Mr. Around the Big Steppers. Wow. A lot more aggressive, a lot more intense, playing with the vocals, playing with the production. Yeah, not gonna lie, I missed most of this. I guess that will take me a couple listens to talk about. What?
I got so many theories and suspicions. I'm diagnosed with real nigga conditions. My world been static. I check the signal, that red buzzing. Radars is buzzing.
That's so pretty. I feel like Kendrick is weighing a couple different reflections in respect to God, or Yahweh in Hebrew. The question being, why is it that some communities are more marginalized than others? Is it because they are chosen and should look to it as a challenge from God, or is it because of the people themselves, perpetuating cycles of violence and poverty? And if so, why does God allow this to happen?
Yeah, that's the business. Radars is buzzing. Yeah.
Oh, what a cute production. I don't know, I feel like all of these are so short compared to the other albums. I feel like I don't actually get enough time to like process anything.
I don't give a fuck. I'm willing to die for this shit. I done cried for this shit. Might take a life for this shit.
There is already so much tension in this track, and he talks about how much he cares about not just the fame and fortune, but being able to use that as a way to get introspective, help himself, and help out his community back in Compton.
And I'm willing to die for this shit, nigga. If I gotta slap a pussy ass nigga, I'ma make it look sexy. They won't take me out my element. Nah, take me out I'm allergic to a bitch nigga, ayy.
One thing I did not expect to see was fans speculating Drake disses throughout these verses. Some more drama to catch up on later, I guess.
Mr. 1 through 5, that's the only logic. Fake my death, go to Cuba, that's the only option. they won't take me.
He's also solidifying his place as a leader in the rap world, whereas he notices his competition just copying each other or taking shortcuts rather than doing it for the art of storytelling.
Get out the goddamn way, cause most of y'all ain't real.
Wow.
Most of y'all go squill. Most of y'all just envy, but jealousy get you killed. Last LP I tried to lift a black artist, but it's a difference between black artists and whack artists.
If I gotta slap a pussy ass nigga, I'ma make her look sexy. I pull up, hop out, air out, made it look sexy. They won't take me out my element. Nah, take me out my element.
He really did say slow down and reverb. I heard a lot from the comments that this album is like a response to the reception that To Pimp a Butterfly got. I guess it doesn't make so much sense to me now because I haven't heard To Pimp a Butterfly, but I actually do think that it's good that I'm listening to this first to prepare for that. Maybe it's a bad idea, but it's kind of what I'm getting from it.
Ain't nobody praying, ain't nobody praying, ain't nobody praying for me.
The panning.
Nobody praying for me.
I feel like a chip on my shoulders. I feel like
I don't know how to explain it concisely, but this track actually reminds me of We Cry Together, but instead of tap dancing around the conversation with someone else, it's just him and his own thoughts.
no feelings involved. I feel for you. I've been in the field for you. It's real for you, right? Shit, I feel like ain't nobody praying for me. Ain't nobody praying for me. Ain't the feeling of false freedom, the poison to fill them up in the prison. I feel heartless often, off this feeling of falling apart when darkest hours lost in.
His wordplay, wordsmithing, is the new word that people have been telling me. Not even just the words, but like the sound of the word and the placement of it. It's so clever. Oh my god.
Lawsuit visits, subpoena served in concert. Fuck your feelings, I mean this for imposters. I can feel it, the phoenix sure to watch us. I can feel it, the dream is more than logic. I feel like
my
say
God,
something,
his
I feel
voice.
like take some. I feel like the whole world want me to pray for him, but who the fuck praying for me?
That anger or frustration has definitely been building up for a while, and I'm glad we do get to hear that by Mr. Morale, he does learn to choose himself first. I think this one's my favorite so far. Wow. Wow. We love vocal chops. I've learned that this intro is sampling the song 24K Magic by Bruno Mars, just manipulated to hell and back, which apparently also beat him out for the Grammy, so,
It's a secret society. All we ask is try. All we got is love.
oh.
Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty.
Oh, Rihanna!
Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. I'm a savage, I'm an asshole, I'm a king. Shimmy out, shimmy out, shimmy out, right. You can tell your nigga he can meet me outside. You can babysit him when I leave him outside.
Oh, this is so good.
Tenfold, no switching sides. Feel something.
I feel like this is the collaboration power couple. Their voices and their energies just work so well together, and I'd love to hear it more.
Tell me who you're loyal to. Is it money? Is it fame? Is it weed? Is it drink? Is it coming down with the loud pipes in the rain?
Vices are a big topic explored by Kendrick in the other albums I've listened to, especially in Mr. Morale, you know, like we grieve different and whatnot. It's interesting to phrase it as loyalty here, on the same level as you would your loved ones.
Loyalty,
Yes.
loyalty, loyalty, loyalty.
I could also definitely see this being a big radio hit. Not sure if that happened though. Wow, I really like that one too. These two, I think, since they're placed together, it just feels kind of complete for me. I don't think I've heard anything from Rihanna since like 2009, 2010. It was a really nice reintroduction. Reintroduction? A reintroduction. I'm tired. I'm sorry.
Love's gonna get you killed, but pride's gonna be the death of you and you and me and you and you and you
Wow.
and me and you and you and you and me
Surely was
Oh, it's Stacey.
hell raising, well chasing, new worldly possessions.
It was actually pretty difficult to keep in mind that this track was supposed to be about pride in a negative connotation. It's so laid back, yet he was talking about being stubborn, pointing the finger, and generally being prideful. He wishes he wasn't. Pride is such a hard sin to admit to just by the very definition of it, and I love how Kendrick explores it through this piece. And Anna Wise is here too. Anna had been featured a lot as a vocalist on Good Kid, Mad City, but here she also helped write the lyrics, and I've really grown to love their creative friendship.
Women overcome with pride. I'll take all the religions and put them all in one service just to tell them we ain't shit, but he's been perfect, world.
It seems like kind of a common theme between this one and the last one being humble, which I'm assuming is relevant to the next track titled Humble. It kind of reminds me of United in Grief and a little bit of N95, just like the messaging, some of the messaging. Very laid back, especially compared to the first 3 tracks. Yeah, I'm confused about the track placement because I felt like these were so in my face that I could not process it. And then, well, actually also Element. And then it started to slow down. Okay, I'm getting into it. The slow burn for real.
Nobody pray for me. It been a day for me. Yeah.
The contrast between this track and the last one is already so jarring.
Vanessa nigga with some counterfeits, but now I'm counting.
What is that piano sample from? Does anybody know?
Taste bloods. I get way too petty.
It almost feels like cohesively the production should be switched on both tracks. Very interesting artistic choice.
To the PM to the AM phone. It's levels to it. You and I know. Bitch, be humble. Bitch, sit down. Be humble. Sit down.
Whoa. I think I will echo the same sentiment I gave for N95 and Silent Hill, where I don't feel like this is a track that I would have liked out of context, but I can't help but enjoy myself at this point.
I'm so fucking sick and tired of the Photoshop. Show me something natural.
I've heard this line before.
Show me something natural like ass with some stretch marks.
Oh my god, that was also a trending TikTok thing. Wow, I didn't even realize there was another track in Good Kid, Mad City that I was like, I feel like I've heard this bridge before, and it was trending on TikTok. I know for sure that I'm so fucking sick and tired of the Photoshop was a trend on TikTok because it was like show your face with a filter and without a filter. I actually think I participated in it.
I'm the realest nigga after.
This hook, chorus, whatever is so catchy it will not leave my head. If he doesn't play it at the concert this weekend, I think I will actually riot.
Be humble, bitch, sit down. Bitch, be humble, bitch, sit down.
I feel like it needs more bass. Skrillex remix? No way.
Sit down. Be humble. Sit down.
Stop it, that's exactly what I was thinking about. Okay, I'm basically Skrillex. Have you ever seen us in the same room? No, didn't think so. Also not a huge fan of that piano sample, but whoa. I feel like it's like almost leaving me and I want to.
I need some water. Something came over me.
Whoa.
Way too hot to simmer down. Might as well overheat. Am I asking too much? Let me put the head in.
I don't know. I literally do not know how I missed this line. Why am I like this? Rap Boy, the voice distortion really reminds me of Brockhampton. Big fan, big fan.
Watch you a comedy, take a shit and roll some weed up. Go hit you a lick, go fuck on a bitch, don't go to work today.
It's interesting visiting this track knowing that he has a self-admitted lust addiction and that it's something that he's been able to indulge in because of his luxurious lifestyle.
Club, how you so fun, make that ass bounce. It's whatever, just make it count. Some water. I wake in the morning, my head spinning from the last night. Both in the trance, feelings are dead, what a fast life. All of us worried, all of us buried in our feelings deep. None of us married.
Wait, this bass reminds me of another Kendrick track. Oh my god. What one is it? Oh my god. I feel like I'm being pop quizzed by myself right now. It'll come to me.
Lust. Lately I feel
This bridge, as chaotic as it is crucial, connects Lust with Fear, track 12 on the album, that he's afraid of the consequence desire can stir.
brace yourself. Lust is all yours.
Let me put the head in.
How am I so unfazed by this chorus? Was I just not paying attention or what? These lyrics make me feel icky.
If it's okay, she said it's okay. Give me a run for my money.
Placing love right after Lust is so wild to me, but again, keeping duality in mind for a theme in this album, I guess. Yes!
I wanna be with you. Hey, I wanna be with. If I didn't ride blade on curve, would you still?
Aww.
If I'm in my mind and work, would you?
I already have a broad picture of Whitney Alford and Kendrick's relationship, having listened to Mr. Morale first, but it's still so sweet to hear it sung out.
No assumption. Feeling like Tyson.
I love those crunchy.
Give me a run for my money. Spend bubbly for the night.
And Zachary's vocals are beautiful here. Zachary? Plus, you've already seen how much I'm enjoying the production. I'm definitely adding this one to my rotation.
I wanna be with you. Hey.
Oh, that's so cute. Love finds Kendrick Lamar musing on the woman in his life, presumably his fiancée, Whitney Alford, whom he has been in a relationship since his high school days. Oh, so precious. Very sweet song, too. Really loved it.
America, please take my hand. Can you help me understand?
On first listen, I thought that Kung Fu Kenny was a producer and that this was his beat tag, but apparently it's just an alter ego that Kendrick created for this album. Still not exactly sure of his role, though.
Johnny don't wanna go to school no more, no more. Johnny caught a body yesterday out hustling. God bless America, you know we all love him. Yesterday I got a call like from my dog like 101. Said they killed his only son because of insufficient funds. He was looking for some closure, hoping I can bring him closer to the...
Oh my god, why is this track so all over the place? This is so chaotic. Ah.
Ain't no black power when your baby killed.
As soon as I stop paying attention to the production, you can see my anxiety creep in, the concern on my face regarding the lyrics.
Matter of fact, I'm about to speak at this convention, call you back. All right, kids, we gonna talk about gun control. Pray for me.
It's not a place.
I will be honest, I don't know anything about U2 except that I've somehow had one of their albums in my iTunes for years and still haven't listened to it. Really enjoying this vibe though, so maybe I'll have to give it a chance.
When you set us up, then roll the dice, then bet us up. America's reflections of me. That's what America does.
I feel like that's also a common theme, all three that I've listened to so far. Mr. Morale, very clearly. Good Kid, Mad City, he mentions the mirror, and here he mentions the mirror as well. Just like being a reflection, or I guess like a looking glass into someone else's life, which is an interesting concept.
You close your eyes to look around.
You close your eyes to look around.
What's up, family? Yeah, this your cousin Carl, man. Just giving you a call.
Oh, I wrote in my notes that I think this is the same Carl that he mentioned in the track Yeah, but it's so obvious now, given the speech that he's making.
God, do I gotta suffer? Pain in my heart, carry burdens full of struggle.
If I'm ready to rush, then I'm going to
So this is just another mirror, I guess.
I beat your ass, you better not run to your father. I beat your ass.
We know a little bit about his relationship with his mother from the other albums, that she tried to hide her struggles and trauma from Kendrick. Now we learned that at his young age, this was expressed through threats and frustration, and he was afraid of her.
Twice and you still here.
Is this the same Keisha that we learned about? Well, I guess it would have been on Section 80, but I learned about on Good Kid, Mad City. I'm just asking to confirm because there were two different Daves, so that confused me a little bit, but...
I'm high now. I'm high now.
Life's Use a bitch, pull them panties to the side now.
I probably die walking back home from the candy house.
And at age 17, we know from The Art of Peer Pressure that Kendrick really did get into near-death situations growing up in Compton, where cycles of violence and desperation make it increasingly likely.
Bitches, I probably die cause that's what you do when you're 17. My worries in a hurry, I wish I controlled things.
If I can smoke fear away, I roll that motherfucker up.
At 27, my biggest fear was losing it all. Scared to spend money had me sleeping from hard to hard. I read a case about Rihanna's accountant and wonder how did the bad girl feel when she looked at them numbers, talking fear.
I literally had no idea Rihanna's accountant lost her $9 million, which is a ludicrous amount of money, and that's where Bitch Better Have My Money came from. Iconic.
My DNA won't let me involve in the light of God, I'm talking fear.
So he's scared of losing everything that he's been talking about so far on this album. Oh my goodness.
Wondering if I'm living through fear or living through rap.
Damn.
Goddamn you.
This part immediately reminded me of the poem Me, We by Muhammad Ali. From one to the collective, God damns us all.
Goddamn we. Goddamn us all.
Verse
So
2
true.
says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, until we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, and do what the
I love the chronological introspection on this track, seeing his fears through the decades from 7 to 17 to 27 at the time of releasing this album.
and today in United States of America.
This what God feel like.
Kendrick said he feels like God, but he is not your savior.
Fuck is you talking to?
I found in an interview with Vice, he said, even if you're a great writer, a bunch of the stuff you write is whack. But most people don't have somebody around them to be like, that's whack. I've been in the studio writing terrible verses, writing terrible hooks, with homeboys and friends and people that you trust telling you that's garbage. I grew thick skin and got back in there and did it all over again.
Send it all, feel pain more. For the cause, I done put blood on sword. Everything I do is to embrace y'all. Everything I write is a damn 8-ball. Everything I touch is a damn gold mine. Everything I say is from an angel. I kill him with kindness, or I kill him with diamonds, or I put up like 1,500. Get your ass killed by the finest.
I feel like I don't have a lot of thoughts to add to this one. It seems pretty straightforward, pretty braggadocious, but he got there by growing and having the right mindset about it, so I feel like he's kind of earned this track.
Ducking haters.
Well, he did say that he was struggling to be humble.
It was always me versus the world. Until I found it's me versus me.
So true.
Just remember, what happens on Earth stays on Earth.
So true.
Don't put it in reverse.
I feel like this track has two different introductions, which was a little refreshing because I've grown to love his intros in Mr. Morale, and I feel like that was missing from this album.
Oh, Lamar. Hail Mary, your marijuana times is hard. Life is one funny motherfucker. A true comedian, you gotta love him. You gotta trust him.
That comparison reminds me of the Because the Internet track. What was his name? Andrew Armenheimer? Just comparing life to The Biggest Troll. And like this, it's so funny, you know? Ha.
$10,000 out of a project.
It's so cool to be told the story of Anthony, the founder of Kendrick's home label, and Kendrick's father, which, side note, is Ducky not the coolest nickname ever or what?
Assuming, but witnesses couldn't prove it. Crooked cops told Anthony he should kick it. He brushed him off and walked back to the Kentucky Fried Chicken. They had a son hoping that he'd see college, hustling on the side with a 9-to-5 to freak it. Cadillac severely ride his son around on weekends. Relatives telling us, selling us, devilish.
The beat complements the flow in a way where there's a back and forth, emphasizing the pace of the storytelling.
Ducky was well aware. They robbed the manager and shot a customer last year. Whoever thought the greatest rapper would be from coincidence?
The what if life was different is such a relatable thought.
Life while I grew up without a father and die in a gunfight.
What if Kendrick grew up in different circumstance? What if I grew up in different circumstance? What would it look like now?
So I was taking a walk the other day.
Whoa. Whoa. What a way to end. My God. Yeah. Wow. That's a lot to take in. I feel like this one is even a little more dense than Good Kid, Mad City and definitely Mr. Morale, but at least on first listen. Again, will probably take me some more time to grasp it. I'm a little slow. Wow, what a ride. From the Shallow Dive, I saw that a lot of Kendrick fans were a little disappointed at this album's release, but I am loving these tracks, and I'm pretty sure I would have felt the same disappointment if I listened to it in chronological order. I still have to listen to Pimp a Butterfly sometime before Kendrick's concert this weekend. I'm really enjoying this Kendrick journey so far, and we still have more to go, so stay tuned, stay safe, and be kind.